Hi. Uh, I- nice meeting you. I'm Anya, founder and CEO of Taelor, and you have Laurie today, the fashion editor with many amazing different titles. So we will just leave to you and let Laurie have a quick conversation.
Okay, nice to meet you, Anya. Hi, Laurie.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us for
Likewise.
this interview. Like Anya said, I'm an editor and a writer, and I'm going to be pitching a bunch of brands today to different magazines, and this is part of my research process. So I just have a couple of questions for you. The first one being, how did you get
Absolutely.
fashion, and what inspired you to launch your brand?
Well, I've been in the fashion retail industry for over 30 years, so I've kind of been through all the big brands. I've worked for Ralph Lauren. I worked for J. Crew. I started a brand called Original Penguin back in the early 2000s, which we built into about a $75 million business. And then I've also been, most recently, I was head of all product development for Kohl's. So I ran like a $10 billion business for Kohl's. And then before that, I was the president of Land's End. So I've done a lot of retail, brand, business, product development over my years. And I kind of got into hypernatural, honestly, for COVID, like a lot of people, I had some downtime. And I started digging into my networks and looking for what I thought the world kind of needed. And what I was really surprised to find is a couple of things. One was that this is back in 2021, that there's a massive renaissance in material innovation going on. And a lot of it's in the laboratories. A lot of it never sees the light of day. Some of it's existed for well over 10 years, but it wasn't really being commercialized. And so as I started looking at it through the merchandising, branding, retail side that I have, I saw there's a great opportunity to bring some of these things to the market, because what the world really needs is more sustainable regenerative materials. And unfortunately, a lot of it hasn't been really commercialized. And so therefore, sustainable materials too often is seen as not a great business investment. And I wanted to change that. So we started working on some material development with some people I know that are really smart, and really saw a path to bring materials to the market that people actually wanted to buy, that had tangible benefits to them. And so over 2.5 years, we worked on developing the special yarn that takes jadestone waste from the mines of Taiwan. It takes seafood waste from China in the form of crab shells. It's all regenerated into a viscose solution. And then we spin it into a yarn, and we turn it into a material. And that material has cooling benefits and antimicrobial benefits. And that material we turned into a fabric, and it actually became a brand. So Hypernatural is a spawn, if you will, of this whole process. And it's just one of many things that we see that we can actually potentially do over the future by working with nature versus against it. And really making sustainable materials that are remarkable to the customer that they want to buy. And so I basically self-funded this entire project, and we launched into the market last year into places like Nordstrom. We have our own business online, and some better men's stores. And we just wanted to see if people actually thought it was as great as we did. And it turned out it's been really, well received. It's a premium material, so we've kind of brought premium and performance together in the form of this special material. And we're building this brand in a way that it's kind of going after really the polyester problem, which is we have a massive synthetic problem in our industry, and there's not a lot of great alternatives. And so we see Hypernatural as a path towards that. We just started with polo shirts because every guy's got them. And it's sort of, golf has all synthetic shirts, tennis is all synthetic, even all activewear is all synthetic. So we really wanted to make a product that could go into those markets and kind of convert people, if you will, back to naturally derived or sustainable materials. So that's our journey the first 2.5 years. And we're still really small, but we actually see a very large business opportunity for sustainable preferred materials. And, this is just the first of many things we're going to do.
Well, I used to work for Kmart and Sears, so I built the Land's End apps for them. So we might cross that more than 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, it's big business, small family, right? So
And I'm also
but yeah.
originally from Taiwan, so great to know you use some material from Taiwan.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no, Taiwan is a hub for material innovation for sure. And so we're kind of, I'm not a material scientist, but I work with a lot of smart people, and the thing I'm most excited about is the world doesn't necessarily need another brand, but it needs more sustainable regenerative materials that people want to wear. And so that's our mission. And eventually we will sell our materials to other people as well. So we already have other brands that want to work with us. And so we just see it as a way of really changing the tide, if you will, of synthetic material pollution and making, sustainable products more popular.
And do you have a name for the material, or is it just kind of named after the brand's name?
Yeah, it's the patent. We've patented the term hyper cool jade. So it literally, so we've tested it. It will cool the skin, your skin temperature up to about 5 degrees cooler naturally. And it also, jade has all these other medicinal benefits. And maybe you know a lot about this if you're from Taiwan, but the Chinese have used jade for so many things for many, many years, on mattresses and things like that. But it's also, it reduces inflammation. If you think about jade rollers that women use for their face, it also improves blood circulation. And so we see going into all kinds of categories that are anything that touches your skin is something that you'd want this material for.
So in addition to the sustainability aspect of your brand, what other distinct elements make up your brand's aesthetic?
So we're kind of in the premium essential space. So we make things that are very simple and refined. So things that last, many, many years. You want to wear them for many years. But the thing we're oddly the most known for is we have this little cleaning pocket inside our shirt when you turn it over, and you can clean your glasses on it. So it's like a little built-in hidden glass pocket. And it's one of those things that you don't know about till you get it, you start wearing it, but you literally can take it like this, and you just do this little cleaning, it's a little triangle square. You can see it. And it's something that our customers love for some reason. And so we put it in everything, including the t-shirts. And it's just like one of those thoughtful details that, it's just funny. It's the silliest thing, but people get excited about it. So I guess people like me, maybe you that wear glasses, can appreciate, not having to carry around a little microfiber towel. So.
And was that put in there on purpose, or was that like a happy accident?
It's literally personal. Like, I wear glasses, and it's one of those things I don't want to use my shirt for it. So when it's built in, it sort of makes sense. The other thing that we're really known for, if I go back to my Penguin days, is we were really famous for color. And so we use a lot of color across our offering. So like today I'm wearing like Fresh Mint, which is just a very, very light, pale green. But, most people, you just wouldn't find this color on most people's lines. So we're very subtle about color, and knowing that, color can be sophisticated, but it can also be fun. It can also be moody. And so we make products that you can wear literally in so many different ways, but we find color to be that kind of great differentiator for us.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything in particular that inspires your designs?
I personally like simple, modern design. So like, it's all about only what you absolutely need. So, and then it's all about quality. So like our buttons we use are all mother of pearl, no plastic, but it also, mother of pearl has an iridescence to it where it literally changes color depending on the sun, on the light. And it's a very subtle thing, but when you touch it, it feels cool. And the fact that it's not plastic, but it also has a specific look to it. It's just very minimal, but subtle, sophisticated details.
So your brand is sustainable. We've established that. But as there's so many sustainable brands out there, but there's also a wasteful element to every brand because it's impossible to be 100% sustainable. So is there anything in particular that you do to offset any kind of carbon footprint you make during production to maintain your sustainability?
Yeah, so we right now we give back to 1% of the planet. That's our give back charity that we do for everything that we sell. So 1% goes back, and then we also use all of our waste is reused. So any scrap cotton or yarn from our floors is repurposed and broken down and then put back into the yarn that we make. So literally the waste goes back into the yarn and it's regenerative in the sense that it's being used. So we really try to minimize, wastage, which is a big part of the fashion problem. And then we also minimize transportation. Like our mill and our factory are right next to each other. So we're not moving things all over the place. Everything is going by truck or boat versus airplane. And all of these things reduce carbon greatly. And so if we can use, if there's anything we could do to offset, it would mostly be bringing things even more domestically, which right now we're looking at doing on-demand production in the future out of California, where we literally would knit shirts as they are ordered on demand. So we're finding ways to get it closer, if you will, to the source, which is the best way to reduce carbon. Because the transportation of carbon is the biggest, sort of challenge when you're making things, in Asia.
For sure. Yeah, I've noticed with different fashion brands, it's hard to maintain that circularity, but people are really discovering different ways to make sure that it works, and for both the environment and for their streamlining their process. And so my final question is, what benefits does your partnership with Taelor have, both for your brand and for spreading your sustainability message out there with the world?
Well, when you're in the premium essential business and it's all about materials, you really got to experience the product. And so, businesses like Taelor are really good at introducing products for people to try. And I think trial is where we see a lot of loyalty. And so we find that these types of platforms are really good for getting people introduced to the brand. And we have one of these brands where when people like it, they come back and buy 4 or 5 shirts. And it creates a virtuous, sort of relationship, if you will. And so we see Taelor as a great way to sort of get Hypernatural onto people to really feel it, because it's as much about feel as it is anything. And it's really hard to do that if you can't actually try it.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And I feel like it always makes people come back both to Taelor and to the brands that they offer. Well, thank you for joining us today. It was great meeting you, and I look forward to writing your story.
We got 2 minutes, so I might have add-on questions. Chris, what are you cooking on? What's trendy? What's coming? Tell us a little bit if it's not too too secret yet.
Sure. So we're actually working on activewear fabric, like things that look like you'd want to wear, whether it be yoga or to work out in. So we started with more sportswear, but we see an opportunity to go into activewear fabric. So we will be making activewear, t-shirts, shorts, bottoms, but we're also going to start trying to make some women's product as well. So we've seen a big opportunity to go after yoga and things like that. It's about having a fabric that looks more performance, but it's still naturally derived. So that's going to be the big venture for us next.
Well, that's exciting. We look forward to it. It's great.
Thank you. So, so that's Hypernatural. We're in the early stages, but there's many more things to come, including underwear and intimates and sleepwear. So you name it, we're getting ready for those.
Who have you been found that mostly were your current customers today? Who gets most excited about your product?
Right now we're appealing to really the premium customer, premium luxury customer, who tends to be the successful types who travel a lot, have multiple homes, golf, tennis, real professional, successful men. And we also have a lot of women who buy for men. So we get both sides of that. But a lot of doctors and lawyers, hedge fund managers, CEOs, those types of people. The biggest so we find a lot of people use our product for is travel, because it's one of these things where you could wear one of our shirts several days in a row and you wouldn't need to wash it. It has no odor. You could literally sweat through it and wear it again the next day. You wouldn't know. And so people like it for travel because it's easy, it's functional, and you don't have to pack as much.
Sounds like most of men would like it. You can wear for multiple days without being smelled.
I swear, we had a customer last week tell us they were 10 days in Germany. They packed for only cold weather, and they had one Hypernatural shirt with them, and it was really hot. and they wore that shirt 5 days in a row, and
Nice.
they said it was fine. So, you know, those are the stories I find the most interesting.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm sure I meet my friends that back in Taiwan will be excited about that. Although it's very, very hot over there and humid,
Yes.
most people smelly, and people hate that to get on the bus. So I think your product will be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're anxious to start to sell it in Asia for sure. So we know people know Jadestone very well in China. So
Okay. Okay. Thank you so for your times. Yeah.
okay, nice to meet you, Laurie. Thanks, Yana.
But